Hi guys, what is going on? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to this channel where I focus on early game and mid game stuff, and also welcome to this video. Today's topic is going to be the Spider's Den. We have a tournament going on. I have just been able to complete the Spider's Den stage 20 for the first time. And so I thought I'd make a video, especially because we all want these pizza points, right? Because we all want the Donatello 3-star soul, at least I definitely do. And so this is a great time for me to tackle stage 20, and I have been able to do stage 20 just now, which is mostly because of Michelangelo, but let me get to that in a second. Usually we need AoE HP burn to be able to kill the spider, or we are going to need enemy max HP hits. Unluckily, unfortunately, I have neither of those. Luckily, we all get Michelangelo. We all get Michelangelo, who brings us a debuffs spread effect on the A2. And not only that, he brings us a debuff spread effect that spreads all the debuffs. There is spread effects out there that only spread like 2 debuffs, for example, which to Hanurak does, but Mikey spreads all debuffs, and that gives us the opportunity to bring a champion on the team that has a single target HP burn, not an AoE. Only single target is needed, and Mikey is going to spread that HP to all the spiderlings, meaning that we are able to do Spider Stage 20, which is pretty great. Now, Elnarel places an HP burn, even an irresistible one, on the A1, and I'm utilizing that. Unfortunately, not everybody has Elnarel. I got her from a download link that I used to start this game. If you don't have Elnarel, there is other champions that bring AoE, that bring single target HP burn. A good example of this would be Bulwark, because he brings it on 100%. Coffin Smasher brings it, I think, on a 75%. These are rares. There are epics that bring you HP burn. There are legendaries. Just check your rosters. If you only have Coffin Smasher, I think that's not the end of the world. Like, you can use Coffin Smasher. It's just going to mean that there is going to be a chance of Mikey using his A2 when the HP burn isn't placed on the spider. It's going to be unfortunate, but if your team around the two champions, around the HP burner and Mikey, are going to be strong enough to support you and keep you alive, then it only means that your runs are going to take a little longer. It's not going to mean that you can't do spider. All right, now, what do we need on the team in order to keep Mikey and the single target HP burner alive? I always want to say AoE HP burner. So we definitely need support. Like we need heals, we need defensive buffs, we need stuff to keep us, to keep us alive. You know, heals are always great for that. If you can't bring enough heals, bring a reviver, also great. But the core, or the biggest thing with Spider, is that the Spiderlings place these 5% poison debuffs each time they attack. And usually what takes you down are not the single target attacks from the spiderlings, it's usually the poisons. So we need to do something in order to get rid of those poisons. An easy way would be to bring a block debuffs champion. Great example for this is Elva. She brings us block debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown and also removes all debuffs from all allies, so that's, you know, also great. Unluckily, she is a legendary champion, and it is mostly for legendary champions to place these block debuffs on 3-turn cooldowns. We have a couple of epics that do it on a 4-turn cooldown, but that is likely not going to be enough. And there is going to be times when a lot of poisons come through. So what can we do if we don't have a champion that brings block debuffs? I think the easiest thing to do is to stun the enemies. Gom, for example, he brings me a 75% chance stun on a 3-turn cooldown. And that is really going to mean that very, very few spiderlings are going to be able to place poisons on my allies. Now, what if we don't have Gom? There is quite a few champions that bring us CC. Another good example would be Archmage Helmut. He's a great example, especially because he is positive affinity for Spider Stage 20. So he would also be able to place a 75% chance stun. Sill of the Drakes is another great example. There is a couple of champions that you can utilize. You can also try to out-heal the poisons, but that is definitely going to be hard. It might help if you bring a champion that has a lot of resistance. You're going to have to make sure that the spiderlings really attack that resistance champion and not anybody else. And you're going to do that by making that, or by bringing the resistance champion with the weak affinity to the spider. So that would be force on spider 20. If you bring a force champion with high resistance, the spiderlings are going to attack that force champion and no poisons are going to be placed. And that can also be a way to really make it easy to heal that champion back up. And it can also always help to have a reviver on the team, so that in case that the champion dies that is going to be attacked, that you're just going to be able to pick that champion back up. Alright guys, so that is the core stuff that you need when you try to tackle Spider Stage 20 in my opinion. Alright, let me talk about my team real quick. Gom Yellowhand, mostly because of the stun. I bring him because of the stun. He also has turn meter decrease, which is great, and he has a lot of more utility, which is amazing. He has turn meter fill when allies are attacked. He brings me increased speed on my team and a heal, and also heal reduction for the spider, so that when the spider consumes all the spiderlings, it's not going to be healed up. This is not on 100% unfortunately, but it's better than nothing. It can speed up the runs considerably. Then, like I said, I bring Mikey. Unfortunately, he isn't booked, so this is on a 4-turn cooldown. The runs would be quicker if this was on a 3-turn cooldown. Apart from that, you don't really need anything on him. Nothing too special. Note that it can be useful to make all of your champions relatively tanky. Gom Yellowhand is still rank 5. I do look to take him to 60 next, so that is going to help. But at the moment, I'm bringing a reviver. I'm bringing Rected Wrath. That might not be necessary in the future, but in the moment, she just makes sure that everything goes smoothly on the team. And she also brings me a lot of healing. So she is a great champion to slot in, and I also bring Donatello. I only utilize this A3 because this brings me heals, strengthen, turn meter fill, and removes debuffs. So if you do have Donatello, he's a great champion for this. I'm not utilizing his A2, even though you can check how much damage does he do on his A2. And if it isn't going to be much, I might actually try that on this run here. If it isn't too much damage, and if it doesn't take down the spiderlings too quickly, which shouldn't be the case, then this cooldown reduction can be very, very nice to have more spread effects from Michelangelo, to have more heals, to have more stuns. This can really, really help your team. But your team can definitely work without Donatello as well. Don't think that you need a Donatello just because he is helpful in this situation. And that is going to be my team. Elenarel, nothing special on her build, just not even accuracy, just a bit of survivability. And then I do want to have a quick look at the presets right here. Right, so this is my team, like I said. Mikey, I don't want him to use his AoE, because that would kill the spiderlings, and we only want the spiderlings to take damage from the HP burn. Elenarel, only using her A1. Gom, just doing what he wants, but the stun is definitely the priority. Rected Wrath can heal and revive as much as she wants to. And then Donnie, I did turn off his A2. This is going to be quite interesting for me as well now. I will turn on his A1, his A2 as well. I only had his A3 before. So this is the team. I think it is a relatively safe team. When I continue to do Spider Stage 20, I'm probably going to be able to take out Rected Wrath at some point. I might even be able to take out Donnie when Gom really works well, because he brings heals, increased speed, all the stuff that I just showed you. And let's get into the run. Spider Stage 20. Now, it is Spirit Affinity, like we said, so the spiderlings would usually attack Rected Wrath the most. Rected Wrath brings us Perfect Veil, though, so it isn't going to be, you know, some weird stuff can happen. Okay, I definitely have to tell Donatello not to use his AoE first, but that's not too impactful here. As you can see, we have quite a lot of stuns out. Mikey spreads out the HP burn, and the HP burn is going to start to tick down the spider. Now, you might want to delay the HP burn spread, because the spider is going to take a turn in a second and is going to consume all the spiderlings, which is going to heal her up. So if you can speed tune your team that the HP burn is spread after the first turn of the spider, then that might really help you. Apart from that, I don't see anything that is too important to talk about. The spider does a bit of damage, but we heal up pretty quickly. And yeah, let's see how this run does. Gom being very quickly being able to do his stun again very quickly. He actually did 2 in a row because of the cooldown reduction from Donatello, so that's definitely helping. And that also means that Mikey is going to be able to do a debuff spread much quicker again. As you can see, HP burn is out there again already, which is super quick. So this actually speeds up the run considerably. So this is crazy. Like, I've said in a previous video that Spider might be the weakest spot for Mikey and Donatello and for their combination, but it's actually crazy strong. All right, it's possible that Gom is actually going to be taken down here. Donatello keeping him alive. Rectodrath, luckily no perfect veil anymore, and that's why the spiderlings now attack her again. But as you can see, this isn't 100% safe. Luckily, with a revive in Rectodrath, that's not going to be a problem. And that's why Syl of the Drakes is great as well. She brings heals, she brings stun, she brings revive. A lot of utility for your team. Alright guys, let's take a closer look at this run. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. I think this is absolutely amazing. I've never expected this run to be so strong and so quick. It is definitely because of Donnie's cooldown reduction. That's just such great synergy, and it shows again how well these two work together and how great the cooldown reduction on Donnie is, especially because he brings so much utility on the side. This champion is really special, I think. He is slowly but surely becoming the favorite champion, my favorite champion in the entire game. Bit of a stretch possibly, but it's, you know, having him on such an early game account is just amazing. The damage, interestingly, spread by Mikey, so counted into Mikey's damage. Does make sense, I guess. But yeah, just interesting to see. Apart from that, I think Gom is exceptional here. Gom is absolutely amazing. But like I said, if you don't have him, there is other ways to do this. As you saw, if we have champions that are a bit more tanky, especially if Gom is a bit more tanky, this should be crazy, like 100% safe, no reviver needed. So just check what you have on your rosters, and I hope that this example might help you to tackle Spider 20 as well, and that this was interesting to you. In any case, I hope you have a great day, I hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then.